Namaskaram. So this is an official induction to our hymn level, which is happening in Jan 25 CA Inter. To begin with, the journey starts with the mark sheet. The reason why you are here is you would have got a mark sheet which would have said unsuccessful in most of the cases, except in few cases where you're writing it for the very first time. Okay. So the reason why we are having this conversation is we have to make this a successful mark sheet. I think that is the single most important objective. A simple question for you to make this successful. What is the immediate step? What is the most logical step? One step before the mark sheet. What is that one step before that mark sheet, which will make your mark sheet or which will impact your mark sheet? Yeah. So let's call it answer sheet. So for you to work on this mark sheet, you have to write your answer sheet in a certain way, right? So mark sheet is the outcome, answer sheet is the input. This is the game. This is the game. This is what you have to constantly understand. What am I going to put into that answer sheet so that I can get this desired mark sheet? Now, desired mark sheet in this case, the results are from September 2024. Now, if you have the sheets, you can look at it. Cost and management 60, auditing 66, financial management and strategic management 70, total 196. So the reason why this is a decent mark sheet is because all three exemptions in a paper or in the papers which are not very comfortable, results are not great, still Tushar was able to achieve this. Why am I giving this to you? Because I want to set this as a benchmark. There are multiple mark sheets which we could have given. What if all of you can score exemptions? What if all of you can, look at something beyond 40 and 50? This is the objective of this conversation. So I'll explain you the approach in terms of how we are going about it, and I'll explain you what are the do's and don'ts which are required for us to ensure this. Okay, I hope this is clear. Yeah. So in order to produce a particular mark sheet, the immediate next step is how do you process the question paper? The question paper comes into picture. Again, the question paper is something which is not a controllable. Answer sheet is your controllable. Question paper is not a controllable, right? So what is controllable? Your preparation right now is a controllable which will impact your question paper. So here, to simplify, question paper and mark sheet are not in your control. So let us stop worrying about both results and question papers. None of your business. Would I say make it difficult or easy? None of our business. We cannot do anything about it. Okay. Results and question papers are not our business. None of our business. Neither yours, neither mine. What is our business? Answer sheets and preparation. Irrespective of how the question paper comes, you prepare in a certain way, you can handle the question paper. Irrespective of how the results are released, you write your answer sheet in a certain way, you'll be able to be in the successful category. Do you agree to this? Yeah. Now coming to the preparation part, I'll simplify this. I have divided this into 3 steps. A, B, C. What is A? The 20 hours or the 1.5 days. The 20 hours, especially in those 1.5 days. What you do in those 1.5 days largely impact your answer sheet. It has a significant. This is necessary but not sufficient. I'm not saying you don't do anything else and directly doing something in those 1.5 days will automatically would not lead to anything, right? So this is crucial. Now for this to happen in those 1.5 days, you have to ensure at least a 2x cycle happens before this 1.5 days. Like before 20 hours, in the last cycle of revision, you should be able to revise everything in 50 hours, which is 4 days. Okay. Before you revise everything in 2 days, you should be able to revise everything in 4 days. Neither whatever took 2 months or 2 years cannot automatically be revised in 2 days, right? So before this 20 hours happen, you have to ensure the 50 hour happens. So A and B are covered. Now coming to C, for you to revise a subject in 50 hours, if I give you 50 hours directly, you won't be able to automatically complete it, right? Right now, in the current position, you may or may not be able to automatically complete something in 50 hours. That is the reason why we are looking at one more step, which is 7 to 10 days. That's all we have. In some cases, we don't even have that time. Okay, within the limited time, how do we complete the preparation in 3 phases? Phase 1, the 20 hours, phase 2, 50 hours, phase 3, maximum of 7 to 10 days. That's it. Clear? This is the objective. Now, in order to help you prepare any subject in just 7 days, in the first iteration, in the first boot camp, I'm directly handling it in a position where you'll be able to reasonably do it in 4 days, immediately in 2 days. So, because when I say A and B are important, I'm skipping C. Ideally, we should do this after 1 week, right? You should ideally, if I had to make my life easier, I should give you 1 week to complete this, and then we'll start A and B. I'm saying let's remove the 1 week preparation. Let's remove the 7 to 10 days preparation. Let's directly jump into this. Since I'm there, since I'll be there with you, I'll make sure the impact of not preparing for the 7 to 10 days is minimal. Whatever might take 17 days or whatever might take 10 plus 6, 16 days cannot happen in 6 days completely. But largely, we'll try to replicate 70-80%. The work of 16 days, we'll try to do it in 6 days, that too in an efficient, systematic, smooth, comfortable, calm manner. Flight, road. Now, what is the problem with road? Friction, traffic. This, both of that are removed. That's why whatever takes 10 hours, you can do it in 1 hour. Clear? So this is about the scope of the assignment. Now, in order to do this, we have already taken some of your inputs, like you have mentioned about what are the various topics which are easy, what are the various topics which are difficult. We already looked into what are the concerns which you might have at an individual level, why something might happen, why something might not happen. You did that. And one of the questions which we asked you in this process is, what is your biggest achievement in life? Right? What is your biggest achievement in life? Some of you might have answered it in various contexts. Now, when I think through this, when I look at it, I always track my life in a certain way. So now you may not be able to see this clearly since there is a crowd and cohort. So I have captured my, right from my year of birth to till date, I have captured each and everything. What is it I have done in life completely? What is it I have done entirely? I have captured. So this includes everything: my life of personal life, professional life, and all these accomplishments. Everything which I'm proud of, everything which made me an entrepreneur and all. Let's say if I do this, this is where I hosted an international conference. I always wanted to be a host, professional host, not like a TV anchor. And this is one of the conferences where I hosted, where people from different countries came in, and I say a convocation, like it's not about going on to one convocation where you reasonably contribute to a family's convocation and you there and you be there. So this is a fantastic experience. You attending one conversation versus you contributing to multiple convocations for multiple families. This is a fabulous experience. And now this is a platform where there are 3,000 people. Now you are 10 of you. And in that platform there are 3,000 people. When I'm addressing 3,000 people, it's a very satisfying feel in terms of what happens. And this particular session now at the end of the session, when you walk as a speaker, you're not a cricketer. As a speaker, when people come and seek your autograph, it's fantastic. Especially I was 26, 27 while I was doing that, and one of the current member of parliament, I would say, is a current minister in a he's a current central minister. He was super impressive that I was supposed to speak about him. In turn, he spoke about me. Now, these are certain moments in life where I'm extremely proud of, and this is one project which I did with Indian School of Business, ISB. I handled this along with Dr. JP. Now, Dr. JP is a person of international repute, and there are people from 40, 50 countries. Now, these are all various projects which I have done. Like there is a reasonable list. But what I'm trying to tell you now is, what if this becomes my biggest accomplishment of life? Until now, I can tell you a list of things. But right now, my ability to bring together 11 people across India, different states of mind. I'm not just talking about geographical states, different psychological states of mind, different age groups, different communities, religion, whatever it is, different belief systems, everything. Bringing together at the last minute where you are fully loaded, where you are stressed, where you're not so comfortable, where you don't know how things are going to turn out. In this scenario, it's almost like building that Lagan team in that manner for a simple analogy. Now, what if I and we together be able to bring out the element of sportsmanship in studies? What if we are able to bring that element? Now, it's scary for me to take responsibility of 11 people just because 5 6 weeks before the exam, some of them are meeting the very first time today, day after, couple of days before. So the understanding itself takes a lot of time. But I want to put my entire life work into this, and I want to make sure this happens. Now, this is my prestigious thing because soccer 11 people, cricket 11 people. Now, I want to challenge and say that if you give me 11 people, I can achieve everything. This is why I made you write that. So when I believe that this is going to be the biggest accomplishment of my life, I also want you to consider if this can become your biggest accomplishment. When I say this biggest accomplishment, see what is accomplishment? Where you are, where you go. Where you are, where you go. Today in the morning, I was explaining how difficult is the journey of an entrepreneurship. I was talking about numbers. There are days where I had just two digits in my bank account, not very far away from today. Like even after 10 years after clearing CA, they're just two digits. Now I also know at some point of time it will go to a double digit number. Now, the journey is two digits to double digit is a fantastic journey. Now somebody born with a double digit, for them it's not that significant, right? So for you, if you want to feel accomplished, what is achievement? Where you are, where you are going. The current state of mind where you are, which is where you are going, determines what exactly has to happen, right? So this for me is going to be my biggest accomplishment for the complexity involved, for the uncertainty involved, for the level of challenges which we have to deal together is why this is complex. More than speaking to the 3,000 people or 40 plus country people here, this is far more complex. Okay, so this is about my project. Now let's get into the specific aspects of this. So you understood the scope of the work. In the next 6 days, okay, you'll write 3 exams. First exam 20 plus marks, second exam 30 plus marks, third exam you'll get 45 plus marks. So this is exactly what we're doing. We'll discuss more on this. So group 1 people are writing law, group 2 people are writing audit. Okay, this is clear. Now in terms of the specifics involved in this process, two ingredients which are extremely important, extremely important: belief in self and trust in the process. Now you have to reasonably believe that this is going to happen. There has to be a reasonable belief that you can do this. And you have to trust that the process will work. If any one of them is missing, don't even wait for 6 days, it won't work. These are essential ingredients. These are essential ingredients. Belief in the process and belief in the self and trust in the process. These are essential ingredients. Make sure this is always retained. It is not automatic. It has to be maintained. It's like that jyoti, diya. You have to pour oil. You have to maintain it in a certain way. Full vacuum, it goes off. Air, it goes off. You maintain it, right? Like Akanda Jyoti, you have to put in some effort to make sure the flame is always lit. It takes that maintenance. So this is what you have to do, that double diya thing. Okay, this is something which you have to focus. What should you strictly avoid? What should you strictly avoid? Something else syndrome. What is something else syndrome? I'm saying about something right now. For a lot of people, when they're speaking, shit, I said this. I should have said something else. I should have said something else. I should have picked some other color. Your mind always tricks you into doing something else than what you're actually doing. So a lot of people, if they're not sorted in mentally, they have this problem where they believe, now there is a good chance that when I bring back that board, why law I could have started with tax, why audit I could start with FM. So there are always these questions. Now be very careful. We decided this because this has to happen, right? No matter what else has to happen, this has to happen. This definitely has to happen. So you ensure you are not getting dragged away by that something else syndrome. Second, dissatisfaction is a disease. It's a dangerous disease. The most dangerous disease on the planet is dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction does not need a reason. You're just dissatisfied. You think about it. Next time you get dissatisfied with something or someone, you think about it. When were you satisfied? Now, let's say something else, something is not working, something is not good. Now you look at it. You look back and reflect upon your life. When were you completely satisfied? You'll get an answer. So it's an endless process and a very dangerous disease. So these two things, at least for the next 6 days, don't be dissatisfied. Don't keep thinking of something else. Okay, these are strict no's. And what are certain things which are dicey? Someone is wrong, something is wrong. Now this is quite common. I'm not saying this is entirely wrong. There is a possibility that someone might be wrong. There is a possibility that something might be wrong. You're reading a book. There is a chance that There could be a mistake in the book. You're watching a class. There could be a mistake in the class. This might happen. But largely refrain yourselves from getting into these beliefs. And two important aspects, being depressed about the past and anxious about future. Past, done, dusted, over and out. At some point of time, you have to get rid of it. Anxiety about future. Future is like the past in a different way, which means you don't have direct control. What you can do is you can only handle the present. Whatever you have to do right now, that is exactly what you have to handle in the present. Okay, so this is something which you have to clearly look at. Now, why is it you need to be here? The reason being, this process requires immense psychological struggle. This process requires tremendous and immense psychological struggle. You cannot do it alone. You cannot do it anywhere else. It's like a surgery. Now it's like a complex surgery where the doctor cannot come and operate you on this table. It requires an ecosystem. It's not just about the doctor. You need a set of people who has to work on something so intricate and something so sensible and sensitive. Okay, this is about this. And second part is, if you keep complaining about something or someone here, the problem with that is your focus will shift from studies. It's not about the complaints. The focus will shift from studies. So we strongly recommend you to refrain from this at least for the next 6 days, so that the focus won't shift from studies. And whenever you get an issue or whenever you get an problem, just write it down. At an appropriate time, one of the mentors will address it. You don't have to solve it real time. It's not a medical emergency. Nobody is going to die. So everything can wait, right? So whenever there is an issue, just note it down. At some point after a particular frequency, we'll solve it out. Okay, this is about it. And at any given point of time, your preparation should keep going. Whatever happens, your preparation should always keep going, and you should shift your understanding from baseline understanding to deeper understanding. Questions will be picked from deep level. Baseline, some 20 marks will be a question picked up. The balance questions will be picked up from the deeper understanding. So constantly you should put in effort to shift your focus from baseline understanding to deeper understanding. And finally, we'll address both your behavioral issues and psychological issues. When I say behavioral issues, how you behave and react externally. Psychological issues, when I say what is going through internally. So in this process, both will be addressed. And most importantly, your capacity building happen, your ability to handle scenarios, your capacity building will happen both at the personality level and also at the preparation level. So all of this together will ensure you clear this in one last attempt. Understood? So this is the scope of things which we are going to discuss. This is the scope of work which is going to happen in the next 6 days. Okay. So I'll open this for questions, but meanwhile, I'm giving you a couple of minutes to look at it and let the concept sink in. And once again, this is super important. Okay. We'll resume after a couple of minutes. So let this sink in. It's deep and complex. So it's important that you put in the necessary mental and cognitive effort to get onto the same page. We have to start at the same page because it's a team-based program. Okay, all right. Yeah.